Storied history of this hallowed ground here, which for many years was known as Golden Park. Right now we're going to go to sports anchor Tyler Redmond, who is on deck, and he's along the first baseline, and he's going to retrace the roots of this park. Tyler.
Well, guys, there's been a ton of history made here at Golden Park already, and tonight starts a new era. But we thought with that new era, we should honor some previous eras. And we start, of course, by going through our archives and giving you a look at the history here at Golden Park. Take a look. In 1926, Golden Park was opened, providing an established venue in the Fountain City to watch pro ball. During this time, Columbus saw many of the all-time greats come through. Ty Cobb, Mel Ott, Shoeless Joe Jackson, and yes, even the Sultan of SWAT, Babe Ruth. Cecil Darby, a longtime sports writer here in Columbus, remembered the day that the Babe came through.
Teams all fly home now from spring training, but in the old days they went by train. They'd stop off at one town, play a game, get back on the train, go to another. And Ruth, everybody wanted to see him hit a home run, but they walked him 3 times and he didn't do it.
But that was just the beginning. As time went on, the park evolved. In 1951, under the direction of the St. Louis Cardinals organization, the old wooden bleachers were torn down, and Columbus was presented with a park much closer resembling the Golden Park that we know today.
We had the old wooden stands, and the St. Louis Cardinals were not happy with those, and they had threatened to take that farm club out of Columbus unless a new ballpark was built.
The first time Columbus saw nighttime baseball, it was the Columbus Cardinals taking on the Big League Cardinals right here at Golden Park in 1951, featuring many Cardinal greats.
It was really a tremendous night, one that we'd really been dreaming about for a long time. Red Shane Deans hit a home run in the first inning, and Stan Musial was playing center field for St. Louis. Enos Slaughter was in right field. It was the largest crowd in the history of Columbus baseball at that time. The St. Louis Cardinals lucked out, 9-4, I believe it was.
As we hold the home opener tonight for the next chapter of the long and storied history of pro baseball in this community with the Columbus Clingstones, it's important to realize that the park will look noticeably different. But it's also not the first time. There have been many updates over the years, and every time there were similar questions about updating the park while also holding on to that history, something that Cecil Darby spoke about.
I mean, the park's still going to be here, and if they were tearing it down, you know, then I would really be sentimental and upset, and I'd probably chain myself to the railing here so they couldn't tear it down. But the fact that it's going to be so much improved next year, I think I won't feel a lot of sentiment about it because it is going to be so much improved next year.
In Synovus Park, and a lot of people would say it's better than ever. With that, we're going to turn it back to Phil and Teresa.
Another major slice of baseball at Golden Park was when the Columbus Astros played here.
And Teresa, I was able to sit down a few years ago with, at the time, a co-owner of the Columbus Astros. He walked down memory lane with me and talked about how some local investors got together to buy Columbus Astros.
I brought Dayton Preston into our control room to look at some vintage footage of when his Columbus Astros used to play at Golden Park. Dayton says the bug bit to buy the club after the 1978 season.
And I called some of my good friends, and every one of them agreed to come in with me on it, and we bought it.
Those were the years when the Astros wore the colorful uniforms.
Everybody loved the rainbows. Those fence signs, another story. That was part of our income. If I didn't sell them all, we had a lean year. So.
Dayton recalls his right-hand man who helped run the club early on.
Jim Koga was with us. He was general manager, and I knew very little about managing that part of it. And good old Jim was right there, and he was one of the best.
A familiar face on Columbus City Council used to play for the Astros on his way up to the big leagues, Glenn Davis.
I never will forget when Glenn came through. Everybody said, well, now where's he going to play? And there were 3 places, they said, either catcher, first base, or right field. So I said, well, which? They said, well, y'all figure it out when you get up there. So.
Getting fans into the seats was always a challenge. Preston says they let the soldiers in free.
fans didn't travel to Major League games in those days like they do now, and didn't have as many on TV.
Players went along with whatever it took to entertain the fans on and off the field. This particular night in the late 70s was sponsored by Connett Dairies. They had a cow milking contest. The Astros' Alan Nicely did the honors for Columbus.
Good job, fella. How'd you like that?
Oh, I enjoyed it. It brings back memories from back home.
You a farm boy?
Yeah, I'm a farm boy from Virginia.
Owning a minor league ball club may not have been a cash cow, but it did provide Preston with the opportunity of a lifetime for a decade.
Baseball just gets in your blood.
Teresa, Cecil Darby was just an institution of baseball knowledge around here, and we really do miss him. I'll tell you a story about a retired Columbus pastor. He lived right across from Golden Park back in the 1940s and 50s.
Last week, WRBL's Chuck Williams took the Reverend Rudy Allen Sr. here on a stroll through the new Synovus Park to get his thoughts. And we join Chuck right now live.
For Reverend Allen. He grew up just across the street from here, but it was a different time. This was segregated back in the 40s and 50s. Blacks sat on one side, whites on another. There were very few black players on the field.
Can you tell those are black folk? No, you can't, but I can.
Rudy Allen Sr. has been watching baseball on the same South Common site since he was a kid. He's in his late 80s now, and he remembers another time and another place. This week he was sharing some of that history during a visit to Synovus Park.
Okay, that's where black folks at. You can, if you look at it closer, you can tell those African Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And this where
underneath the shade.
And over there, they had that bleacher section for them.
So where on the field is this? Like, is this right field?
Right, left field.
Left field, okay.
Down there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
At the end of the grandstand there.
Okay, man.
He saw a young Hank Aaron play for the Jacksonville Braves back in 1954. Allen knows the history of the park better than most. Aaron is honored in the Aflac Club at the new park with a larger-than-life photo.
First of all, I think they should have. He hit quite a few balls out of this baseball park. And he was one of the first black players to play in the Salary League, and I think they'll probably be paying homage to him for a long time.
Last summer, Reverend Allen toured the old ballpark when it had been stripped to its bones to prepare for the new construction you see today. This week, he couldn't believe the transformation.
I think it's a marvelous place. I haven't seen another AA ballpark of this caliber. I think the community has been tremendously blessed to have the vision to do something like this.
Teresa, Phil, I could talk to Reverend Allen about baseball and race all day. He has an interesting perspective. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Chuck, for that report. Now, the heroics that have played out at this historic park go all the way back to the childhood for a retired Columbus businessman.
Teresa, Jim White has a lot of fond memories of Golden Park as a little boy, and when that little boy grew up, he became a significant part of baseball history right here.
When Jim White looks out over majestic Synovus Park, his mind can't help but wander back to his childhood.
Phil, my earliest memories go back to the late 1940s when my grandparents brought me to my first Columbus Cardinal baseball game, followed by many, many years in the old wooden ballpark. You know, the original Golden Park was wooden.
Jim's love for the game only grew stronger in his teenage years.
I became a bat boy in the mid-50s when the Columbus franchise was connected and affiliated with the Baltimore Orioles. The local team name was the Columbus Foxes. I was a bat boy for the Columbus Foxes.
All throughout his business career at Tom's Foods in Synovus, Jim was a staunch supporter of all the teams that graced Golden Park, including the Columbus Astros, the Columbus Mudcats, and the Columbus Indians. Their name was changed to the Columbus Red Sticks in 1992. The Red Sticks got a real shot in the arm 2 years later when Charlie Morrow moved to town and bought the team, pumping money and enthusiasm into the franchise. Charlie and Jim became fast friends, and Jim was named Vice President of Operations for the Red Sticks, a position he held until the team left town in 2002. During the Red Sticks' 11-year run in Columbus, the team captured 14 division titles mixed between the first and second halves of the season. Charlie Morrow, who also founded the Columbus Cottonmouths hockey team, passed away in 1998. Jim says though Charlie was only here 4 years, he left an indelible mark.
He was a man that made a tremendous impact, as far as I'm concerned, on the quality of life here in Columbus.
It has been 17 years since Columbus fielded a minor league baseball team. Jim is incredibly thankful the drought is over, and he's stoked about the Clingstones and has 2 reserve seats behind home plate.
I have walked out on the field. I have touched the grass. It's the real McCoy.
As he ponders baseball's future in Columbus, he's nothing but optimistic.
We have the opportunity here in Columbus to develop this into a magnificent investment return as well as quality of life for the citizens of the area. I couldn't be happier.
Teresa, we can hear the crack of the bats from up here. They're taking batting practice just over our shoulders down behind us, and we're getting closer and closer to that first pitch.
Coming up after the break, we're going to tell you how WRBL's Brian Thomas got to be the voice of the Clingstones here at Synovus Park. WRBL's Countdown to the Clingstones continues in just a moment.
Watching WRBL News 3's Countdown to the Clingstones.
All right. You know that song? I think it was from a Grease movie / it was a, one of those musicals. I got chills and they're multiplying. It's happening. Now, I'm not talking about the weather. I'm talking about the excitement and the fervor, just the energy here. People are really excited, aren't you? Yeah, they're excited about this. So let's talk about this excitement. The sun is out and it is dry as a bone, perfect for ball. A bit of a breeze that can actually help some fly balls in the field. We'll talk about that. But first, let's talk about the fire danger. Very dry conditions. That's what's happening. We call this a dry front because it really is. I mean, some of you had a sprinkle this morning, but that's about all it amounted to be. It looked like it was going to rain, but it didn't. Front sweeps through. We got clear skies and breezy conditions behind it. High pressure fills in. It's going to be a nice sunny day coming up tomorrow. So the end of the week, temperatures, although we're going to start out a little cooler behind the system, by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we're going to warm back up again. That's in your first alert forecast. So the forecast map taking you ahead in time to Thursday morning. We're going to have clear conditions. It's going to be beautiful. And temperatures may be chilly in the morning, but by Thursday and Friday, you're going to notice it warming up from 80 to low to mid 80s by the end of the week. And that forecast map shows even with these disturbances, nothing but just some high clouds. We're not even talking about anything bad. So what we are looking at, you know, Easter arrives a bit later this year. Sure, that has something to do with it. Late in the April season allows these temperatures to warm considerably, especially in the afternoon. We're seeing temperatures in the mid-70s Wednesday. That's your cool day. That's with our cool front coming in right now. 81 Thursday and upper 80s for the weekend, right through Easter Sunday. Let's get to our Clingstones versus the Blue Wahoos tonight. Looking really good. Pre-game right now, we're looking at 74 degrees with the slate day sun. Yesterday, we were 10 degrees warmer, just FYI. And 69 degrees at our first pitch, 65 in the seventh inning, probably about the stretch time. Time you go home, we're talking about low 60s in that first alert forecast. So, 7-day outlook. We're looking at 46 tomorrow. It's like jackets. You can get a Clingstone jacket, I guess. And in 74, 48 degrees coming up on your Thursday morning, chilly, but 80 for a high. 53 for Good Friday morning, 85 for a high. And for Saturday, 86, the same for Easter Sunday. And yes, we're warming up ahead of our next storm system. So really the next system that we get would be probably Monday. And even then, we're talking about some few scattered showers. That's our next opportunity for rain to cleanse out this air just a little bit. Let's hear some excitement now, everybody. Right here live down the left field. Guys having fun. Yeah. Go Clingstones. I assume, I don't see any Wahoo fans here at all, and I don't think that Jack and Tyler are talking about that either, but they got something pretty interesting coming up right now. I'm going to send it over to them. Jack and Tyler, the energy's great here. How's it at your way?
That's right, Bob. The energy is high here at Synovus Park. And Tyler, one of our own is going to have a really special day tonight.
No doubt about it, Jack. Our old meteorologist, Brian Thomas, is stepping up as the new Clingstones public address announcer here at Synovus Park.
That's right, Tyler. But Brian is no stranger to the mic. In addition to the stuff he does with us here at WRBL News 3, he's also a primary figure on Kiss 99.3, as well as the PA voice of the Central Red Devils for the last decade at Garrett Harrison Stadium. He also has the unique distinction of being the last PA voice of Golden Park with the Columbus Chatahoots and the first PA voice here at Synovus Park. I asked him what this opportunity means to him.
To get a chance to do this is just, it's speechless. I mean, this is just a whole different level of broadcasting, and being able to give these guys, these players that have worked so hard to get to this point, to give them that elevated experience and give the fans that experience, that additional experience that they're looking for. It's going to be incredible.
And of course, Brian will be taking the airways here at Synovus Park in just a few minutes. Now, Tyler, it may feel like opening night here in Columbus, but the Clingstones have already been playing for a little over a week. And one man that's been at the head of that is manager Cody Gabella.
No doubt about it. And this team entering tonight, they got a clean slate. 4 wins, 4 losses, good for a 500 win-loss average. But they're looking to get a winning record tonight, but they're also looking to get their first ever win here at Synovus Park as a Clingstone. Now, with that said, they're also looking to jump up in the division. They're 2.5 games back of the team that they're playing tonight, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. So it ought to be a pretty good game tonight. Pensacola has been good, 7-2 this season thus far. The Clingstones, though, they have been resilient over the past couple of weeks. Multiple grand slams, comeback victories, and that's something that Cody Gabella spoke about.
It's a team that's going to fight, man. They've all been pretty close games, to be honest with you, and put together a really good week last week in Biloxi, winning 4 out of 2, and like I said, they were all close games. So when you got a group of guys that, put it together and come through in close games, that's a winning recipe for the long haul. So. But you add the different element of the renovation at the ballpark for this one. So it's a little more special. And you mentioned we played a couple games and we saw some Columbus logos in the stands, especially in Montgomery because it's a little shorter trip. But we're really excited to for tonight at 7:05 for see how many people show up and then to play in front of our fans.
5,500 strong tonight, hoping to see that first Clingstones win in history. Jack?
Can't wait for it. It's going to be an electric atmosphere here at Synovus Park. We have so much more on the countdown to the Clingstones coming up. We'll see you after the break.
You're watching WRBL News 3's Countdown to the Clingstones.
Like so late over there.
You can't have baseball without a field, a beautiful field, and you can't have a field without a grounds crew. Right on cue, Brendan Seaver and his crew are getting the field ready for tonight's 7:05 game. We talked to him earlier this week. Listen. Minor League Park, Big League Field. Meet Brendan Seaver, who has been toiling as the head groundskeeper at Synovus Park since before the grass went down. Ask him what it looks like now.
It looks like something I can be proud of. I'm happy with it where it's at right now. Everything's green. Everything's playing well. I'm just super excited to let everybody see it.
When most baseball fans look at a field, they don't see what Brendan Seaver sees after 10 years and 4 stops as a groundskeeper.
A living organism. There's so many things beneath the surface. I mean, just looking at it, you only see the grass. There's so many other different layers to it that, I mean, you could have bugs, you could be deficient in certain things. Every day's different. That's kind of why I love the job. But it's a living being as much as you or I.
Like the minor league players who play on the green grass of home, Seaver has big league aspirations too. But for now, it's all about making Synovus Park as big league as possible.
To me, this is as big league as it gets without, a 40,000 seat stadium. It's the exact same surface. When these guys leave and they go off to Atlanta, I want them to think, I've been playing on this field already, there's no difference.
Teresa, Phil, I've seen a lot of major league parks, a lot of big league fields. I can tell you right now, that field behind me, there is nothing minor league about it. Back to you guys.
We're going to take the top of the bottom. WRBL's Countdown to the Clingstones will be right back.
Don't go far. We'll be right back with more from Synovus Park.
You're watching WRBL News 3's Countdown to the Clingstones.
Welcome back to WRBL's Countdown to the Clingstones. I'm Teresa Whitaker.
And I'm Phil Scoggins. And we are in a familiar place, Teresa, but I can tell you from 50 years ago, this place has transformed into something unimaginable. It's incredible here tonight.
I have to admit that this is my first time here at Synovus Park. The last time I was here, it was Golden Park. So as I walked in, my first impressions were, wow, even at the gate. It's just a beautiful place. And then as we were walking through the concourse to get here, you were passing by all of these fans. Everyone is adorned in their Clingstone paraphernalia.
Have some Atlanta
it's
Braves
nice, and
too.
you can just feel the excitement in the air.
When I stepped into the ballpark, it's an immediate flashback to when we were shooting on 16 millimeter film back in the 70s. I would crawl up on top of Golden Park. Hey, Chuck, thanks for joining us.
I ran over.
You hustled over here. But sitting up on top shooting with a 16 millimeter was called a Canon Scopic camera to get the highlights from the days when Bruce Bochy was actually a catcher for the Astros. Bruce Bochy went on to become a general manager with the San Francisco Giants and won a World Series. So I am just enthralled with the feel and the look, and I actually feel like a little kid again, you know?
You know, I do too. And your story about Bochy brought back, I was in this park in 1990 when Jerry Royce, a gray-bearded left-handed pitcher, was trying to catch on. He was working his way back up through the minors. And I came down here on a Sunday afternoon to interview him. Walked over to him, started talking. I said, he takes pictures of every park he ever played in. So he was shooting this park. And he had been downtown shooting. Now, we all know 1990 downtown ain't 2025 downtown. But I asked him what he thought of Columbus. And Jerry Royce said this was a place frozen in time. You know, it feels like we're unfreezing time a little bit today.
That's for sure. Teresa, this has been so much fun, and you can feel the electricity in the air as we get closer and closer to that first pitch at 7:05.
We'll be right back.
Live from Synovus Park, WRBL News 3's Countdown to the Clingstones.
And welcome back to a countdown to the Clingstones. We're here at beautiful Synovus Park, and we're about an hour or so away from the first pitch between the Clingstones and the Pensacola Blue Wahoos.
Well, let's talk about a time lapse, because we were talking about how it just seems like this time has just gone by so quickly. And so in order to create this new ballpark, what they had to do was they had to deconstruct portions of the old stadium. They actually took it down to the concrete behind home plate.
Indeed they did. It was a year-long process, and what you're seeing is what evolved in a minute's time with what actually took a year's time. If we're looking at the $50 million finished product here, a lot of prep especially went into the field and the groundwork, and actually as they were making ready for that blanket of green grass to go down, it reminded me of that velvety, smooth, carpet-like grass on the fairways of Augusta National. But you just saw in 1 minute what it took 1 year to complete by Brassfield and Gorey, the construction team.
And I'm telling you, it all paid off, because the folks here are just so excited and ready for that first pitch, which gets underway at 7:05.
It was back in November. One of the things when you're making an announcement about a team, you got to come up with a name. Well, they had a big reveal. It happened back in November, Teresa, and it created quite a buzz when that announcement was made. Take a listen.
Didn't it?
Hundreds gathered in the South Hall of the Trade Center, many in their Braves jerseys, to await the big announcement. Pete Lavin, general manager of the Columbus Baseball Club, turned the attention of the crowd to the big screen for the reveal of the new team name.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Columbus Clingstones.
Following the big reveal of the Columbus Clingstones name, some Columbus State University baseball players modeled what the home and away team uniforms will look like. So where did the team name originate?
The clingstone is a peach that clings to the pit of the peach. And that's what we kind of fell in love with. You know, they say it's a stubborn peach, and we're going to be stubborn and keeping the support of the community here for years and years to come.
Phil, baseball is all about family and spending time at the ballpark.
WRBL's Chuck Williams found a great family story about a mother and son's love for not only the game, but of course for each other. And Chuck joins us now with that story.
Phil, Teresa, this is my favorite story I've done all week. This is about Miss Miller and her son, Pete Ciccarello, and their love for the game is what their family bond is. Just listen. Since Synovus Park opened in Atlanta, Debbie Miller and her son, Pete Ciccarello, have had season tickets to Braves games.
The mother of 3 daughters and 1 son, I needed something special to do with my son, and baseball became it. We started watching the Braves on TV, and then eventually started going to the games, and then became season ticket holders.
This season, they are trading tickets to the show for life down on the farm, watching baby Braves with big league dreams. They were in the 4th deck behind home plate in Atlanta 60 or 70 nights a year. Starting tonight, they will be much closer to the action.
Similar to where we sat at True, it's just lower and closer, and great view. This is going to be a great seat for the season.
Synovus Park has been transformed over the last year with $50 million in taxpayer investment, and they admit this is no longer the Golden Park of yesteryear.
We used to come to Golden Park when the kids were really little and watch the Mudcats and the Red Sticks, and that was our Saturday fun for me and the kids.
The long drives to Atlanta were a bonding experience.
That was our time to kind of catch up with what was going on, and so we were great until we hit 285.
They don't have to worry about that anymore, and it did not take them long to make the decision to trade the Braves for the Stones.
Almost instantly, as soon as we heard the announcement of the Clingstones.
Yeah,
we became Clingstones.
And the fun of being able to see players developing and eventually make it to the Braves, hopefully, that was exciting for me.
The win here is pro baseball returning to Columbus after a 17-year absence.
I'm just thankful Columbus has brought baseball back.
Teresa,
Our
Phil,
families need something to do.
as Miss Miller said, they don't have to worry about 285 anymore, but they are a little backed up traffic-wise coming into Synovus Park. Back to you guys.
When we come back, we're going to talk about concessions here at Synovus Park, and it's a lot more than just Cracker Jacks and peanuts. We'll be right back.
watching WRBL News 3's Countdown to the Clingstones.
Welcome back to Countdown to the Clingstones. Phil, I don't know about you.
I'm diving in,
when
baby.
I go to a sporting event, my first question is, what are we eating? All right, so I took a walk earlier today through the entire concourse. Now, there were several concession stands along the way and 3 restaurants. For concessions, you can find everything from nachos to pizza, chicken fingers, burgers, hot dogs, Cracker Jacks, boiled peanuts, and more. Now, it's always hard to find brisket, but there is a concession stand here at Synovus Park that sells brisket. So we've got some, they put it though in the form of sausage. So we've got an Italian sausage dog,
Right, that's
and
wonderful.
we've got this brisket dog here. So we
You
are
keep
going
talking, I'll keep eating.
we're
I
going
got
to
the
give
best part
this,
of this gig.
we're going to give this a try right here. So, that's good.
Beats peanuts and Cracker Jacks, huh?
That's absolutely delicious.
I'm reminded, Teresa, all those years ago, you would hear the goody-goody peanut man going through the bleachers, hawking those peanuts. That sound was as much a part of what was in Golden Park as the crack of the bat, hearing him sell those peanuts. And he was so popular, I think he's been inducted even into the Hall of Fame as a result of his efforts and his connection, again, to this what we call hallowed ground here, that what was Golden Park and is now Synovus Park.
And I got to tell you, if you like things spicy, the brisket's got a kick.
Now,
How's the Italian sausage?
they're expecting about 5,000 folks, a little over here, sellout crowd tonight. And we were curious, what exactly is the reaction, the fans' reaction to this incredible place? And so Chief Meteorologist Bob Jesbal, that's right up his wheelhouse. And so he went out and got us some fan reaction to Synovus Park. Let's hear what they have to say.
So, I mean, when you heard about the Clingstones, we heard about our ball park being named Synovus Park, all this from the beginning to end. What were you thinking?
Oh, very excited. Not from Columbus, actually from just north of Atlanta, but come to Columbus 3 or 4 times a year, and I'm a huge Brave fan ever since they moved here in '66. So when I knew the Mississippi Braves were coming here, I got all excited, and when I heard the name were going to be the Clingstones, I love it. I think it's cute, and like being able to come down and be able to come to this game 2 or 3 times a year.
And it's a shorter distance. You have to drive all the way to Mississippi.
Right, I don't have to go to Mississippi. My goal this year is to go to every minor league game. And I've got, so far, I've got everything but the Stripers on my calendar. So I've got one more to hit, because that's just an hour from my house.
Stay here, we got 60
but I'm
plus games.
excited about this. I've been here to this stadium before,
Right.
and to other events, and I love the historic stadium. I love downtown Columbus, and I'm real excited about having something else to come here to do.
And you're just like, you're so excited until you walk down to the
yeah.
thrift store and you're like, gosh, this is too much fun. Tell me why.
It's just fun being born and raised in Columbus and always having been here. I grew up playing softball on these fields, but now they look absolutely incredible. And just to get to have a team here locally, now we don't have to travel to Atlanta to watch the games. And my kids playing the sports now have guys to look at who are playing the same sports. So we are so excited. Our whole family will be here. We've got season tickets, so we are ready to go.
I'll tell you what, Teresa, it's getting closer and closer to that first pitch at 7:05, and so far we're having a blast. This is incredible.
When we come back, Bob, we're going to call him to the bullpen. He's going to come out. He's going to bring you your first alert 7-day forecast.
Don't go far.
Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Mike, check 2.
You're watching WRBL News 3's Countdown to the Clingstones.
All right. This is going to be real quick. They said, okay, well, we're live right now, so hey.
No way.
Yes, wait. Okay, Jennifer's here, good friends of mine, Dave Martin and Sam Cato and all you guys. There was some, we want to let people know, with traffic, it took you how long to get in here?
Well, we actually came from downtown and parked under the bridge across from the Getch's house, so it really didn't take us too long. However, out here is a different story.
That's great. Dave, what are you seeing out here?
Well, we came in across the Oglethorpe Bridge from Phoenix City, and the traffic was backed up pretty good ways back here. Took us about 45 minutes to get in here.
Okay, and Jennifer Anderson's sister, Sam, how you doing? You just look like her, I'm sorry. But just want to let you know, so what do you experience? Any advice you can give anybody when they're coming in here?
There is going to be a delay in getting in. If you're planning on getting here on time for games, you might want to leave a little earlier than usual. And I would advise a different way of taking payment if they're going to charge to get into the parking area.
Yeah, there you go. Good advice. See, you're getting it first, exclusive here. You guys are the best. Let's get into the weather now. You said it was great, right? Great weather?
Yes, the weather's perfect.
Yes, weather's perfect. Of course it is. We forecasted it that way, right? Okay.
Good job, Bob.
You're welcome. There you go. So we're talking about some fire danger again. What's that all about? It's so dry. This dry cool front that made it for a perfect Clingstones baseball home opener is because we have to look at the conditions with it. It's cooler, dry air from the Pacific Northwest, a little bit of Canada air, and when that comes into play, it dries us out considerably. So there's a lot of vegetation that dries. We call that fuels. Anything that starts, whether by Mother Nature or if you're doing a burn yourself, best to get a prescribed burn permit or get someone to watch it, because this is the kind of conditions with the wind we're going to put in the forecast will go out of control quickly. So please adhere to that. There's the front now on the satellite radar at southeast in Georgia, believe it or not. And right now, nice high pressure filling in, and the wind is starting to pick up just a bit from the northwest. So the forecast map shows us high pressure from the west to east. It's building in nicely, and the forecast map showing it's just scattered debris clouds, we call it, coming through our next little weak system on Thursday, but no rain with it. Yes, we definitely can use rain. Not today, not during the ball game, but we definitely need rain as soon as possible. So why is this an issue? We're dry, yes. Tomorrow, mid-70s, cool and dry. We're going to be chilly in the morning. And look at this high temperature forecast. We're going from low 80s. For your Easter weekend, we're talking about temperatures in the mid-80s. So let's talk about tonight's game. As you heard about the traffic, temperatures are actually better than what they were 24 hours ago. It was not good. 74 degrees, first pitch 69, and seventh inning stretch, we're talking about 65 and 62. So folks are going to feel, they're going to feel a little bit, should I say, cool at times. So the first alert 7-day forecast brings in 80 degrees, 85 by Good Friday. And by the weekend, we're looking at Easter Sunday 86. Next week, here comes an opportunity for some showers. But even then, it's only scattered, and scattered rain is not a great thing. And yeah, you know what I'm saying? Laura Lee's here, our PNB broadcast partner.
I brought my hoodie tonight. You said it was going to get chilly. I got my hoodie.
You did, so you were listening to the forecast. What are you seeing now, and what are you feeling? I mean, we've been doing this all day. This is remarkable, in my opinion.
I am so excited. There's something about the first home game to walk in a stadium and then to see what they've done to the stadium. Everybody needs to come and see Synovus Park. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's big time. It's big time.
You hit the nail on the head.
It's big time.
Big time, so folks watching, Explain in 30 seconds why it's big time.
It's big time because it's it's like Truist Park in Atlanta, only on a smaller scale for your AA team, and you don't want to miss an opportunity to come down here. Cheer on the Clingstones and just take this in. The atmosphere is so electric tonight.
You're not kidding. And check out that parking situation. We had great advice on that, guys. I'm going to send it back to you, but Laura Lee in the house, giving us the full feel.
All right.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Yeah.
And our countdown to the Clingstones rolls on.
When we come back, Sports Director Jack Patterson previews tonight's matchup between the Clingstones and the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. Stay with us.
You're watching WRBL News 3's Countdown to the Clingstones.
Hey everybody, what's up and what's good? Tyler, we're just under an hour away. The pregame ceremonies getting underway behind us, but we are just under an hour away from baseball being back here in the Fountain City.
No doubt about it. Crowds out here, and it feels a little like opening day. The opening day celebration is going to start. We're going to have the big first pitch, but it's important to note that this is not the Clingstones' first game in 2025.
That's right, Tyler. In fact, they've been playing for about a week and a half so far. Let's take a look back. After a tough start to the season in Montgomery, the Clingstones took 4 of their 6 in their series in Biloxi to get to the 500 mark where they are heading into tonight's game. And Tyler, despite all the pomp and circumstance that's going to surround this game, there is a game. And the Pensacola Blue Wahoos lead the division at 7-2, and the Clingstones 2.5 games back. But the players say at the end of the day, there's a game to play and they'll be ready.
Yeah, so, all the way back to spring training and all the work that we put in, we focus on, what our process is and what our work needs to be every day. And I think our team does a very good job of, staying confident in our approach every night. So, we figure out the starting pitcher and figure out what they got in the bullpen. And as an offense, we're just trying to make adjustments and figure out how to beat these guys. So when it comes to the focus of, moving forward and trying to play tonight, we're not really worried about the external stuff. We're just trying to put on a show for the fans tonight.
Yeah, we're going to go out there and treat it like it is a normal game. I know it's really cool. It's first game in here for a while, home opener for the Clingstones. So to represent that, to be a part of that again is awesome. We take it with pride, but, it's just another day in the office for us. We're going to go out there and compose ourselves and do our job essentially. Pensacola does look good so far this season from what I've heard. but we're going to treat them just like anybody else. Just another opponent, and we got to go ahead and beat them.
We love baseball. Like we're baseball players, and we thrive for this. The adrenaline is always here. We love to play, and so when the lights and everything come on, that's just added adrenaline, and I feel like it's kind of takes the pressure away and kind of makes it more fun with lights on. That's all it is. It's like backyard baseball.
And Jack, as you mentioned, we do have a game tonight. Clingstones, 2.5 games back, and to who you may ask, well, it's their opponent tonight here in the first ever game at Synovus Park, the Pensacola Blue Wahoos.
That's right, Tyler, and you hear the pregame ceremonies going on behind us, which means it's getting close to game time, which means we got to wrap this bad boy up. We'll wrap up the countdown to the Clingstones coming up on the other side of the break.
And what baseball means to this community. Just look around. This new
Live from Synovus Park, WRBL News 3's Countdown to the Clingstones.
Welcome back to Synovus Park, the opening home game of these Columbus Clingstones. They're going to be playing the Pensacola Blue Wahoos. We had to look that up. It's some kind of a blue fish. But they're going to be here in uniform tonight playing our Columbus Clingstones. And the pitch is about a little over half an hour away at 7:05.
What they're doing right now, over my shoulder, you can see the big screen there. They've got sort of a pregame ceremony going on. Dignitaries, members of the Atlanta Braves organization, Columbus Mayor Skip Henderson, Isaiah Hughley, all of them. And I looked over, I caught a peek at the seats, and they are filling up right now, and people are still filing in. It's just... such an electric atmosphere.
There was news yesterday that Craig Kimbrell, a pitcher with the Atlanta Braves in the past, he's making his way back. He's been assigned to the Columbus Clingstones. Of course, he's a reliever, so we don't know if he's going to get in the game tonight, but he's got 440 career saves. He is an 11-time All-Star. So this guy is... it's going to be incredible if he gets into the game tonight to be able to see what he can do. But anyway, a lot of enthusiasm. We can feel it from here. We're about 100 yards from the ballpark over our shoulders and hearing the pregame ceremonies going on. But right now it is it's an electric moment, and we can't wait for that first pitch.
All right, and let's go to Bob Jeswell for another look at that weather.
All right, welcome back over here today at Synovus Park. We're getting the event started here. It's, of course, 7:05. We're going to end up seeing this game kick off a little bit. But, folks, if you take a look here with less than 30 seconds, folks are eating. They're enjoying their food. And there's one of our former own from years ago, Jennifer and Brian Soletto, with their kids, having a good time, having a hot dog, and the folks catering and more food coming in. So this is certainly the excitement. From what I'm hearing, it has a small-scale feel, like a Truist Park almost. So that's some cool news. Send it back inside to you, everybody. Thank you for joining us in a special edition.